Welcome back. We're live for our super chats. I am going to put the list up on screen. Yes, get in very quickly because the super chats will be closing once we start the first individual super chat. Now, I have updated the super chat. The list is directly below on screen. If you don't know our schedule comes up in our community posts for the dates and any changes that we do have for our super chats and more content coming. Yes, we are in that energy of Mercury at the moment. And as we do reach mid-month, the energy can become more intense. So pre-warned, forearmed. How are we all? Morning, my love. How are you? Hello, Embrace Daisy. Yes, the super chat that is up on screen is the most current one. The one in the chat also has been updated since then, so you will see them on screen. We will put my head on the camera. It isn't quite as blue as it usually is, but nevertheless, we are still updating the actual studio. So bear with me as we are dealing with this energy retrograde. Are we enjoying the retrograde? Are we feeling the energy to be intense during this time? I'm going to close a few windows so that I have a fluid stream. I have been entering, getting blog posts done, a lot of back-end work as well. A lot of subjects to do with wellness have been coming up, and I did put a couple of the predictions in the community. So again, you can actually look back and you can have a look at where those things were coming up. I wasn't able to do full moon in Leo. I think it was Leo. And we're having a new moon in Aquarius coming up. And we will start going into the shadow energy of Uranus and Taurus. So again, really linking to that Aquarian energy being Uranian and both Saturn. And we are going to be having some squares, which I will be doing some astrology videos based on the square, due to the fact it's going to be initially squaring in one particular area, but it is going to transition as we move into 2025. Squares can be those points in our life where we have to change. It's almost like something isn't working. It's a difficulty. So it forces some sense of change. It actually challenges us to change, especially being that Saturn directly is involved in that circumstance. So during this retrograde at the moment, what I think is actually happening is I wouldn't be surprised if you're doing a lot of cleaning. I wouldn't be surprised if lots of subjects, and I said this with Mercury being in the mix and Jupiter being in the house of Gemini, there would be things to do with food, schools, travel, which we have seen. I did say it would probably be the only time I wouldn't travel. I wouldn't fly. But again, I am working in two industries at this point in time. One being Jupiter, social media, one being also truck driving. So I'm kind of stuffed no matter what I do. So you just have to be a little bit more cautious about what you do around those areas, especially because we have Jupiter in Gemini being Mercury, and also we have Mercury retrograde. In the house of Virgo, it is going to move back into Leo. So it's almost like we could be really reflecting upon these things. And then as we transition and it moves back into Leo, it can be where we have that direction because it's sun energy. It's like, okay, it's like the star, we're going to have some sense of direction. So there could be moments that you feel very frustrated. There could be moments where you feel you want to liberate yourself. You could at times feel extremely tired. You definitely could feel that you want to change your nutrition, your diet. This also could be a lot of higher heart chakra, which is Chiron, the wounded healer. So, when it comes to your chakra points being Mercury, it can be your throat, it can be your higher heart chakra. So caring for those things, looking at where maybe we could either project or feel things very personally. We could misinterpret things. It was quite funny because when we do chat in with members, a lot of subject matters that do come up, it's like, hey, is this common that this subject's coming up at the moment? And again, it can be to do with our confidence, our self-esteem, to do with our image, to do with if we feel criticized. The moon being mother as well, and the weekend, if you were productive during the weekend, it might have kept you out of that kind of shadow energy of feeling more darker in nature. So productivity and grounding can be super helpful at this point in time. The other thing can be the devil in the detail. You know, Mercury is really good for overseeing things. So you may find that this is a time that you're restructuring, that you're looking at maybe your physical environment, your daily routine, how you could restructure it to get the most out of your life. Certain zodiacs may just be recouping, may just be really needing to care for themselves and finding the pressure points unmanageable. There also could be things to do with wealth, because again, we do get those Virgoian subjects coming through to do with bookkeeping, banking, you know, finances, wealth. So again, we could be looking at those very structures in our life and our goals in mind of what we can do in a critical way to transform it with our own power. So how many of you have had those things going on? What other subjects have I seen coming through? Let me think. Yeah, a lot of revelations, a lot of grand ideas. I think we're also going to be more private about what those ideas are. It could be that you have light bulb moments. This could be in business. This could be to do with other people and really viewing other people in particular ways. You could be more, it's almost like you could have light bulb moments of solutions for your life. And where it does come to your heart chakra, you could feel almost like you want a connection, but you also could spiritually feel quite critical of those connections. I did get asked a question within a couple of the videos. Obviously, I do cover twin flame path, but it's not going to be the only subjects that we do cover here at Yildiz Readings. I am going to start doing content that is based around those subjects and awakening, as well as astrology. So what you can find during a Mercury retrograde, the question was, is it bad to connect with an individual of the past? No, it's not. But the thing is, if you already have had a connection to that, it's quite common. It will flow. It was destined to be. You need to work through certain things, and you will gauge and have a deeper comprehension of what is going to be as it moves direct. But you will need to be quite flexible, because if you find in your life with Mercury retrograde things are going awry, things are going wrong, something can pop off at a drop of a hat. It could be that suddenly you say you're going to go out to dinner and then the person can't make it, or you can't make it. You know, just silly things like that. So you're going to have to be less codependent. You're going to have to be patient. The Virgo energy, if it understands the details, will be okay, but it could be quick to offend or quick to judge. So if you take that in mind, you can navigate that transit and your love life more effectively. It is a great opportunity to connect with individuals of the past. It's a great opportunity to reflect upon systems that you have used in your life that have not been working to date and you just want to rip your hair out. It's a great time to look at that. Now, shadow work and reflection. Again, I would say headaches, eyesight, higher heart chakra, thinking, problem solving, needing to rest and ground, connecting with earth, those things are going to be quite beneficial. So it's not that it's a bad thing, it's that you're going to need to be more patient during that time. It's quite common. Certain zodiac signs, depending on where the astrology lands, you can find if something has been of a bugbear, big changes for particular zodiacs can be really coming through, and that can be for Virgos, for Pisces, for Gemini and Sagittarius. I would say there can be some big shifts. Certain zodiac signs will do better with this transition, but due to the fact the moon's going to be in Aquarius, something at a global level can happen that will affect everyone. So regardless, being in our personal lives, wherever we have Aquarius and Leo, there can be some big subjects changing. And it is going to be quite significant. It can be a lot of innovation also that will come through. I will get into the super chats, otherwise we'll be here forever. And if there is anyone that has just paid PM me, because we are going to officially be closed for super chats now, because we're going to get into the list. We have Antonella. I didn't get the notification again. Have you clicked the bell, Dawn? I don't know, love. It is Mercury retrograde. But as far as I know, I have not put extra posts up 1, 2, 3. Maybe because of the evening, but that would be technically classified as one post, and that's for the members' content. So I don't know. Anyone else got the notification? Sometimes during Mercury retrograde, it's the best thing to check your bank, your login details, change all your technology and read those old emails, look at your spam box, unsubscribe and subscribe and check your notifications. You could have car issues, and great time to sell things, especially from a technological. Not a good time for the buyer, a good time for the seller. Funny enough, I was looking at caravans, and again, it's Mercury, it's wheels, it's things that, you could use of value, and it's a Virgo. But the thing is, those things are going to be more pricey during a Mercury retrograde. So if you know your astrology and you know your transits from, if you needed to sell something, you would probably actually get more. It could be like a bidding war, so to speak, in those particular niche markets. So anything bookkeeping, or say it was supplements or beauty. Would I do those things during a Mercury retrograde? Detoxes, reviewing, yes. Testing, yes. But as to those purchases, as per se, for me personally, I'd probably wait till it went direct. You tend to buy less of a lemon of an object as well, because the technology issues aren't going to be as much there. Hopefully. I've always had technology play up during Mercury retrograde. At times, I've purchased new devices and the old devices started working again, and it has been about resetting and updating the systems on it. So, Antonella, do you have a particular question, or just whatever comes out? I love technology. Yes, please. Check in with the community. What community? What are we talking about here? Check in with the community, as in people, or? In terms of my stance of how they perceive me. Oh. Okay, well, there's a delay of some description, and what do they mean by that? You can feel the need to step back. Yeah, it's almost like you might have stood back, stepped back. They could be wondering why you stepped back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because this is a delay. This is almost like you're delaying maybe you're delaying the way you're perceiving it. You're reserving your judgment on this, if that makes sense. But again, it's coming down to a message or some communication maybe, and you're pondering over this. You're wondering if it can be turned around because of that, because of some communication that was given, sent, maybe a phone call of some description that was made. This is kind of on your mind at this point in time, and you're wondering how to actually change the opinion of those individuals, and if some space would actually co-create that. but there is some apprehension around a text message and email. It's like some sense of communication, because we're seeing this individual here on the card is actually holding a telephone. I don't know if you can see that with the light. They're holding a telephone. So the yellow on the dress actually signifies confidence or insecurities. And the red also can be to do with family, foundation, and pudding. So it can be, like you said, your community, the group that you're with. So there's some apprehension around that. Okay, around those situations, initially it's funny because it's like you went into it very optimistic, and now you're sort of looking at that going, maybe I should have gone into it a little bit more gradually or a little bit more lighthearted, maybe allowed those individuals to actually express what they were feeling, what they were thinking. Because it's like there was this excitement and aura of yeah, almost like optimism. And I think during Mercury retrograde, naturally, we're going to feel a little bit more, let me review this, let me reflect upon it. It feels as though it's a few things that you do get from the community as well as the TF path. But, you know, it took you a lot to have the courage to go in. However, it feels as though now that you're looking at it, you went in too quickly. Or the fashion in which you went in, you could be looking at and going, oh gosh. So again, this could simply be something as simple as second guessing yourself, if that lands, if you get what I'm saying. You're worried that history is going to repeat itself. Because you have had experiences with the heart of it is sort of like a cruel, hard kind of environment. And this is in the heart of it. For you, it can be almost like, because you have had a previous experience before, you're kind of worried that there's going to be this rejection or judgment or kind of vibration. Again, this again, we got the rejection. You know, it's like glass half full, glass spilt, not seeing what you have. You're going to have to move beyond the point of whatever this communication was that you gave, because what it's doing psychologically is holding you stuck. It's making you relive it over and over again instead of actually moving forward from this day forward. How are they seeing it? They feel at times you're too strict on yourself. They feel that you worry too much. They do feel that you do want that connection with individuals, and so they empathize and understand. They felt that you were ready to reconnect. So I would say again, they're a bit worried about you, and this could be maybe if you didn't turn up or you didn't show. It's like, are you sick? Is there something wrong? But they're making a reference point to something changing. But merely they're concerned. They know what you've been through. There's a lot of history between you all. They also feel when something is divinely guided, it's going to happen, not to actually worry too much about it. But also they're hoping that you are looking after your wellness. So there is this feeling of care, compassion, and understanding. But they're saying you're worried too much about the past, and you're worried too much about maybe an old communication that you sent through. So that's what's coming through for you. TF is actually thinking the same thing. They do feel you're very hard on yourself. They maybe had to be hard for a personal reason. They also have gone through similar things you've gone through. They are going to feel more ready as the days progress, but they're also very careful. Like, it's not these individuals want to lose you from the community or lose you from their life, but they also know you're trying to find yourself as well. I hope that lands. So that's what's coming through for that. Who do we have next? We have Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Are you here in the chat, my love? We'll get these scooped up. I do want to start getting into energy updates. Most welcome. So that we actually can have, which I'm going to try and pre-record them and then premiere them. That way we actually can have maybe, a monthly or a weekly update to do with transits and energy. And we can actually have a heads up about what those things are. Really having to work out ways that I can be productive as well as, serve the collective, as well as, get you guys the information. And not fall asleep, preferably. Oh, lovely. Good to hear. Okay. So we have Tracy. Let's see what's coming through for you. I remember you PM'd me, so let's see what's coming through. First thing I'll get is being shy. This is interesting. Okay. I think with this situation you're entering into, and I'm going to speak in code because you did PM me your question. It's so funny. How can I articulate this in code? Does it have to be in code? To a degree. Okay, you have had in the past dramas, I would say. Could it be to do with a romantic path or a twin flame path? Yes, it could be. You're a very independent person. How you are going into this new situation, I would say you're in two minds at this point in time. You're trying something different. You know what you've outgrown, but you also, nobody can pull the wool over your eyes. So you can be coming through quite firmly. You can be coming through quite like an open book, and sometimes we can use those things because of trauma of the past. So it could be somebody pulled the wool over our eyes. They did the dirty on us. So we go out there. Say it could be we go on a date or a connection, and it's almost like we want to spiritually cut to the chase so we can bare our souls to that individual. Not so much in a negative or positive way, but more set the guidelines of what you will and won't tolerate. And so before it's even had an opportunity, for the watering can to hit it with maybe some, good grow juice, it sort of hit the pause button of saying, okay, it's a bit like speed dating. There was a movie I watched the other day and it was speed dating. I think it was on The Rookie, and they took her out on this speed date, and they just interrogated this person, because the rookie, they're, police officers, and they literally through this movie, it's a series really, they did the speed dating and they just asked them all. It was like taking them into the interrogation room. So sometimes spiritually we can do that from a protected point of view. I see that you have maybe processed connections, because it is coming through as a connection read, connections of the past, but you are open to the future. Attracting somebody into your life at this point in time, again, I would say it is Mercury retrograde. You still can be healing to do with the past, but situations, it could be that we meet somebody that's been through something like that. And so it could be a merging of souls because you both spiritually have gone through a similar thing. And that also can heal you as an individual through that process. It doesn't look negative, it looks positive. But we've got three cards here, right? We've got crap that went down in the past, where you stand right now, past tense position, a lot of crap that happened in your life, okay? It is in the past though, but your fear is it going to happen again, right? How you're coming through in the heart of it, it's like, was it my fault? God, I've got to get my life together. What am I doing? Why am I pouring all of that energy into it? It also could have been the individual. So there's two sides to the coin. This could have been the individuals. Okay, done on it. I'm moving forward. These people didn't respect me. It doesn't mean to say the whole world's like that. I know that's what I came from. I'm going back out there. Now, you have the Strength card and you have the Two of Wands. So it's quite interesting because, I would say, you could attract in individuals that are the same, but you'll relate to it differently. So you won't get the same as an outcome. And that could be a concern that you have. You're trying to, the yellow energy, where are we going? Is it going to be okay with a partnership? What will it look like? That's kind of what I'm getting psychically. I get this maybe as a very comical moment, as a revelation. I don't have anything bad to say about these cards. I think you're in two worlds at the moment. You're doing the spiritual work, but you're also doing the 3D, let's test and see. And I think this is a lot of integration you're going through. And I think some opportunities are really going to come that are quite positive. But I just keep hearing this term, and I'll mention it to you in the members. So if I do forget, PM me in the members, and I'll tell you what the term is. I'll have to write it down. I'll write it down here, and I'll PM it in the members so you know. And look, I feel a connection could be very intellectual. Could be a friendship. Something could turn into a friendship with an individual. But there's an opportunity to just try, and that's what they're saying. But they're also, for some reason, it feels like something funny is going to happen, but not bad. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Something funny, but not bad. But that's where it comes through for you this week. We now have interesting, right? Cosmic Journey. How are you? Sometimes I get random downloads during the week, and I'll PM the members, and I'll be like, hey, I've got a channeled message. And for a couple, well, Lois was popping into mind the other day, so I probably have a message coming in for Lois again, but it was Cosmic Journey this week. Let's see. Sometimes I do get that for the public as well. And if something's urgent, I'll always PM you. However I can. Okay. Oof. Okay, so we have... Again, I'm not feeling anything bad here. I feel you can be actually... It's almost like intuitively you're going to be very sensitive to vibrations. But it's like there's something at a very personal level happening to you at this point in time. How can I explain it? It's almost like you are doing a lot of subconscious work. You are doing a lot of integration. You're having a lot of revelations. Sometimes it can feel really yuck. This card is a number 5, I believe. Yes, it's a number 5, the 5 of Wands. So it can be yuck. It's like we're trying to climb ourselves and liberate ourselves out. When am I getting out of the darkness? When am I getting out of Dodge? But it's climbing out of something. But it's like you could really be worried as you're going through this that it's weird. It's almost like before you may have freaked out and thought, if you're thinking these type of thoughts, feeling these types of feelings, it means everything would not be okay. I'm not getting that. I'm getting that it's almost like you're honoring the feelings that you have. And, this could feel very foreign to you if you have not been able to truly do that without being concerned about anybody else, if that makes sense. A lot of times, certain zodiac signs can be like this. It could be almost like, yeah, if I do that, it's going to affect X, Y, and Z. It's going to, affect my mother, father, brother. It could affect my partner, my kids. Whereas, when it all comes down to it, what is at the base? It's you. And, you can only keep putting you at the base till you break. And then all of those things wouldn't have been there if you weren't there, if that makes sense. So it's like, for once I feel you actually are totally considering, no, where do I stand? How do I feel? And it's like having all of those feelings without feeling guilty about it. And I think that's a very precious kind of perspective to be able to have. Once in a blue moon, we actually need to do that, where we can go, no, I'm not actually going to think about those things. I'm just going to pause and I'm really going to reflect about how I feel to do with that, so that then once I've spiritually summed that up, I can take those other individuals into account and weigh the scales to actually make a decision about what is going to be best, and what I can and can't tolerate. And I think it's a very critical view you're taking. So at times it can feel, look, the purpose of this challenge, because it feels like a challenge, is to go through, but to get yourself out of a circumstance and get yourself into a better position in a total way, not in one particular area. Because although, yes, we could say this is to do with love, it's to do with a myriad of things. It's to do with a bunch of different areas that it is directly impacting, affecting, or you are desiring to change those things. So I don't feel it's just one area, although the one area could be actually the challenge point. That is almost like the domino to show that, hey, it's inadvertently affecting other areas of your life. What you are wanting, and it's funny, I do get that there are some guides that are coming through for you. These can be past over loved ones that maybe you had difficult times with. And you can be doing shadow work relating to that and healing the past of it and looking at it from a different perspective. But I also feel this is making your life lighter, but they're also trying to give you messages and they're aiding you from the other side. It can be an emotional time, big changes around the home environment as well and your family. But this is taking you to a happy beginning. It just might not look like it at the moment with the energy of what you're going through. Again, we can touch base back in the members, but I'm not feeling anything bad about this. So I hope I've summed it up enough for you. I don't feel anything bad here. It's good that you are doing this reflection for yourself. It is taking you to success. And I feel, when are you going to come out of this funk? I feel towards the Aquarius moon. Okay, we have the moon here. Probably even a week before, positively, as a potential, a week before, a week after, but they're mentioning the moon. Heightened emotions. Again, I do feel as you progress through this, your intuition is going to open back up. At the moment, you may find it's quite muted. It could be in particular areas that's open. This also can be protecting your aura. So it's like if you're, suddenly blocking things out and not thinking about them, it is kind of protecting you. It's preserving your energy and it's preventing psychic attacks. If you are quite psychic in nature, you're going to find that those downloads will come after you've done this process. I hope that helps. We have, who do we have next? We have Shadow. My sister's calling. Where am I? She's probably out the front going, you want a coffee, love? Super chats. They do it all the time. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll probably be here another half an hour. I'll message her and say, live on YouTube. I'll be a minute. Family. I'm back again. My nephew's on the toilet. My dog is going crazy. Okay, so we have Shasta. I've said make a cuppa, do your thing. Let's take a look. Oh, you got the star card. You probably don't feel that. Maybe this is something that you're focusing on. You're Aquarius, aren't you? Are you Aquarius? I'm pretty sure you are. Let's see. Oh, wow. You're like, when are my blessings coming? You can feel some of this is coming up for you because you're wanting to progress and move to the next level. I'm pretty sure I recall you, and this could be you or your twin, with the Aquarian energy. Because we're having Pluto move back into Aquarius, you're getting the star card, okay? This could be to do with a circumstance of the past. It's funny because we see the individual with the 7 of coins here in the past, and it's almost like seeds that you planted are going to actually bring you reward, but you could be feeling they're in the past. Five minutes. Can we sue family? My guys, I can hear you back here. So we've got the star. That's something either that you're thinking about, you're wanting to create, or again, it could be that you're going through a dark time because we could get the tower and then the star. Is something going to come to an end so that you can have your happy ending? A, I would say it's something you're thinking about. B, it's something you're working towards. Something from the past does feel to be coming back around. This can be within a few areas, again, I'm getting, because this is almost like a partnership. It could be getting into a connection, changes happening maybe also in career, but it does feel within a marriage contract or partnership, okay? There is a significant change. Could this be information and gossip? Yes, but I feel this is more to do with your life. I feel it's to do with something that you directly are going through. Oof. Okay, some information also is going to come about that might surprise you. So I'm going to pull a clarifier on that, because I almost get it's something that somebody maybe has told you and it's false, but I feel it's going in your benefit. So it could be that maybe a person is quite shy. They don't want to express to you how they feel, and they come about and they open up to you and kind of express their true feelings. But it also could be a confirmation that something that you thought was going on, something within their feelings, a bit like a walking contradiction. You know, a person saying to you, I'm not really interested, but stalk texting you or watching you and knowing what you're doing. So there's a bit of a contradiction happening here, and something maybe of a white lie is actually coming out. I think it's serving a purpose, though. I think it's actually positive. I think it's that by dropping the facade and getting to the crux of it, this person is actually going to be more open with you. And it's something that they can't manage. They can't maintain. So whatever this white lie is, I feel it's almost, they can be more open with you. I also feel this person might have gone through some difficulties. This could have been with a previous connection. I feel you're going to have some travel on your plate as well. It almost feels like going to distant places, could be a relocation. I do feel some doors are going to be opening up for you, but I also think that you're not just looking at love at this point in time. And it's funny, you're about the third person who this has come up with, some similar message coming through with. It's not just to do with love. I feel that you have some great opportunities coming your way. Okay, you could be caught in between a rock and a hard place and having to choose a left or a right. But I also feel you're trying to get yourself in the right position that will give you the best of both worlds. But there is a fresh start coming. So tell me how this lands for you, because it does feel almost like you're feeling pressure to make a decision. And it could be at a drop of a hat. Now, could this be between two people? It actually could be. Could it be between, your big dream and love? It could be. But it feels a difficult decision. I do feel some perfect opportunities coming your way, though. And I also feel that a person is going to be expressing some things that they've been holding on to, and the reason why they got to being where they are and not being as open with you. So I feel there's a bit of a conversion going on here. This also could be some revelation you're having to do with why it got to where it is. But again, you got the Star card as your crowning energy. So I don't feel bad in the overall. I feel some major kind of changes in the way that this person is actually feeling is going to come to light to you. We have research clue. What do I say for you? Okay, something to do with an individual who is, this could have been a connection that you have with this person. I do also feel there is an old connection here and some information that maybe you're going to hear about an old connection. This might have been one that you weren't super connected to. Could have been that you had a lot of history with them, but there could be some information of changes coming up in that person's life. And I don't think you might be a little bit surprised, but overall, I don't feel you're going to have a huge attachment to it. This could be that lately a person has been popping up in your mind also quite a bit more. It's almost like spiritually you could feel a lot of times we can be interconnected. So have you ever noticed that, be it you kind of relate to a twin flame path or not, or you have had some synchronicities happen in your life, and could be that you're thinking of a song and then it pops on the radio, or that you are thinking of a person and then, it's really weighing heavy on your heart and you're like, gee, I really must call them. And then they call you. It's kind of one of those dynamics. It feels as though out of nowhere, a person is going to be popping into your mind that you're thinking about quite a bit. This is a person that you would have risked all for. You had a lot of chemistry with. This is a card of adultery, but I get it more. It's almost like somebody worth risking it all for, so to speak. Somebody that maybe wasn't the most perfect character, but there was a lot of chemistry between the both of you. It could have been the way in which the connection came about. I could say scorpion kind of connotations because it is very deep. I feel this person is kind of weighing on your mind out of nowhere. And this could be unusual for you, especially if you had come to a very even keel where you were quite detached from it. It feels like almost that there is a personal change this person's going through. Okay, it wasn't great in the past. So you're kind of like, look, I've gone through this, I've processed this. Why the hell is this coming back up again? Why is it taking me back to square one? I don't think it's taking you back to square one. I think you're actually just happening to, it's like a radio, because if you have not thought of this person and your vibe has turned all of a sudden, and you've done some spiritual work on yourself, 9 times out of 10, it's like the person is scrying you. Okay, I'll repeat that. The person is scrying you. What does that mean? The person is thinking about you, and you happen to have a telepathic connection. So you are feeling and going to be getting some downloads of what this person's going through. And there's a lot of regret that's coming up in their minds. There's a lot of reflection. If they are in a karmic relationship, it is showing a significant event of maybe even a separation. You're going to pick up on that. Okay, so if this is something that is resonating with you, drop me a PM, chuck me a notification up here after the super chat and you do view it. But I'm definitely feeling a significant event around that happening. What are the other things that they're trying to mention here? They're like, wait, there's more. This also can be another individual occurring in your life that's totally reminding you of a previous connection. It could be so similar, it's ridiculous. Now, whatever that is, it's trying to teach you something. It's trying to show you something. It is going to heal you, and it's going to open some doors. That person also could really agitate you because of a behavior pattern or something they do, but it's serving a purpose. But they're saying that your telepathy and your psychic energy is going to be quite heightened. Feel free to tell us what zodiac sign you are, because, where is Pisces in your chart? Where is the Scorpio energy? Because particular vibrations at the moment are going to have a lot of psychic energy. Cancer also at the moment, because they do have Jupiter over their 12th house. So again, something to do with the third party is wrapping up. But I feel it's on both sides of the fence here. You could be completely in separation from a karmic, but it may not have completely wrapped up in some shape or form. Doesn't mean you're in a romantic relationship with them, but again, it's healing. It's like chapters. And I do think that there is something to do with that conflicting energy. Whomever it is, whatever it is, it's coming up to be ended. Okay? We now have Dawn. Don't know if Dawn's going to be here. She wasn't feeling well, so sending love and light. How are you, Dawn? I hope you are well. First card. Oh, God. Okay, you've got a lot of opportunities here. You're superstitious. Okay, there's something going on. This could be with a romantic interest. It could be somebody you're interested in. I'm feeling two people. Okay, the king of there. Your guides always trip me out. Okay, I'm hearing the term the king of the castle, the most unexpected. Hella random, fairest of them all. This individual is somebody that you've wanted for a very bloody long time. They have not been the fairest. They have not been the greatest. It doesn't mean you haven't thought that of them. They haven't been the greatest, but they're actually coming through at the moment as a king of wands. Okay, so it's and it's very bold. It's very different. It's very bold. There's another individual that it's funny. It's almost like their energy is going to swap. Okay. I feel this other individual is going to get a little bit jealous. You could feel piggy in the middle over the weeks coming. You are going to become more popular between two individuals here. Your romance had taken the back seat for a while. You might have felt it was never going to happen. Something in it is naturally going to be shifting, but there's two paths here. Now, I want you to be the fly on the wall of this. I want you to be the observer because you actually were thinking nothing was going to stay the same. I just want you to be the observer. Okay, party one, we've pulled the cards. Party two, I'm telling you, just be the observer because something is shifting. You were feeling you had to go and build the castle when really the castle needed to come down for the new castle to be placed. There are two people here. Two people are helping you ascend. There is a person that has been here for you through, it's almost like thick and thin, but again, it could be like a spiritual friend. It could be a soul friend. It could be a group of people, but I'm feeling this is a male energy. This is somebody maybe that has been saying to you for a very long time to walk away from this other individual. They are quite spiritual in nature. They may not quite understand the spiritual significance of the bond. Terms and things to that degree, yes, I would say. The difficulty potentially, or no, they don't. Have they been through something you've been through? Yes, I do believe so. There is a tower that is happening with this individual. But again, they're bringing the tower down themselves. They're making a physical choice. I do feel this is the individual who you have felt would never be the king of the sandcastle. Let's put it that way. This other individual, I feel once they get whoop of this, their attitude is going to change. They may be a little bit angry and jealous. But I definitely say, yeah, I feel that's what I keep getting. That's what I keep getting. They're going to swap energies, okay? This is a male individual who is, you might have just looked at them as a spiritual friend. It's almost like it's butting into something different. It's a potential. This person could start showing some jealousy. They may not have really been what you would deem as relationship material. See how the energy swaps. That's what they're saying. Just keep an eye on it. Observe the situation. What I am saying from the other individual who you've waited to be the king of the sandcastle, some crap's going down with them and another individual. It's so funny, though. It's almost like they've already decided, so they're just ignoring it. They're ignoring it. They're going to address it. That we do have the tower here. They know what needs to happen, so that's a no-brainer. But their attitude towards you is going to be quite shifted. If you just observe, they're going to give you some information, and it is about a circumstance that's happening in their private life. We have Stella next. It's so quiet out there. I guarantee she's gone home, the poor love. She's probably like, that bloody sister of mine. I finally decided to come and see her. I've been up since 4 a.m. You got some things happening with family, Stella. Let's change the... Hi, sweet. Why has family come up here? Mind you, we are Libra, so I haven't had any other males around me lately. Birdman being MIA. Yeah, I think it's Birdman. Just wait and see. The energies, please. Well, the first thing I'm getting is something you've got. Look, home is going to be quite significant to you. You could be spending some time at home. This could be maybe because you got run down or you're being pulled in different directions with family. But the first thing I got was home. Okay. Oh, gosh. I feel like somebody's going to turn in towards you, Stella, and they're going to want your expertise for some reason. You're showing up as the high priestess, but the first thing I got was almost like you were like, look, I'm really tired. I'm really run down. And somebody's going to ask your advice. Somebody's going to ask for your expertise. I have more time off work. Yeah, that's what it's kind of showing, but it's like being able to be home for some reason. Could it be because you get the flu? Maybe. But there's some time off. That's what they're showing me. But they're also, I'm getting a hit on karmic energy wanting to call you for advice. I'm also getting a family member wanting to contact you for advice. And I also feel a child energy that currently is in a relationship is going through a shift as well. They could be going through a career shift. For you, you may want to do things more independently. You may find that in your most intimate connections at this point, this could be with your kids, your parents, whatever, it feels as though you could be very internally reflecting upon maybe spreading yourself fine, maybe looking at having to do things separately, having a different viewpoint about what success is going to be and what you need to actually organize in your life. You could find that in your partnerships, people are very quiet at the moment or reflective. They can be a little bit irritable. But I do feel there's some news coming from afar. You want to be somewhere now. It's like you wish you, this could be in relationship to how do I explain it? It could be almost like you're wanting to, yeah, well, it's the heart chakra. It's like in the heart chakra, you feel everything is stagnant. You feel everything is eat, pray, repeat. And so naturally, especially with your transits, you're going to want to go and play. You're going to want to go and do things, but it just feels like eat, pray, repeat. Saturn's coming along and restricting that. Your cards are also showing that. It's almost like in the heart space, it just feels so mundane. It's like that people are very detached, very irritable. I remember being at home. Yeah, well, but it feels the vibration's going to be that regardless. It's like, you know, getting down, doing the grit. Do I see travel for you? I do see travel. I also feel it's almost like you're wishing you could be somewhere else. You're wishing you could be doing something else right now. So could it be that you're going to have to cram things at the very last minute? I do feel so. I feel you're going to be able to achieve everything you need to. There is a person that is also wanting to see you. They've been missing you. They're looking forward to this. I also see there could be a change happening. I think, yeah, I think in the love zone, there can be a change happening in your love zone. But I'm also seeing there could be a change that's happening at a drop of a hat. I get that you're going to have some information from afar. Somebody can be unwell. Somebody is not going to be sympathetic towards the situation. You could be what? It's almost like, could this be your TF? Yes. Feels like the karmic isn't being sympathetic. But I do think the karmic is actually wanting advice, wanting to support. They're also saying don't worry too much about wealth. Something is coming for you. It's bringing abundance to you. I also feel you do want to have a career transition. Yeah, it feels like it. It could be the karmic, though. It definitely could be the karmic. What I do get, though, is I would say this: there's you desiring to be somewhere else. It feels things are transitioning. You're having to be super independent. I do feel we've got to a space where there's an individual who wants to talk to you. They could be actually giving you a heads up about things. They're not being tolerant towards TF. And on a separate level with your career, I do actually see you wanting to transition careers, but you're also wanting to secure your, it's sort of like there's a time frame you're willing to do that. There's a time frame where it is going to come up. I'd say you probably may find it comes up towards, I would say, September, October, November more so. Or you may see this year out and then make that transition. It could be due to financial situations. It's almost like you're giving yourself a time limit, though, but I don't think it's permanent. And I feel you're wanting to live a different way, do things a different way. I just don't see you working there permanently, if that makes sense. I do feel there's going to be a shift. Everyone is so noisy today. See, it's Mercury. Do I go or do I know? I feel you're going to know by about August, Stella, from this job. Look, later on in the year, will it be different? Hard to have transitions. Mars will be retrograde towards the end of the year. So we may find, Mercury retrograde is a really good time to check in with that and go, okay, where am I? We're going to have eclipses as well. It is going to happen to land in your zodiac sign. So putting resumes out, yes. I mean, if it is the monetary thing and you're like, okay, how much would I need? What days would I need to work? Do I need to work for 5 days, 7 days? What do I actually need in a very practical format? Being able to do that while you have a job is much easier than doing it when you don't. So if you feel you're dissatisfied and you want something that's going to be more fitting before you get exhausted and, have that vibe that it's like you just don't want to go to work, I would probably do it beforehand. However, again, if you feel, hey, I'll work to the end of the year, then I retire, that's a different subject. That's different. But automatically, I feel you more than likely will have more creativity. You're going to want to be creative because Pluto is in your fifth house. And if you don't feed it somehow, it's going to kind of come up in other areas, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Stella. But yeah, there's a big consideration here around that, around those dynamics. I do feel because you do have a few planks to the end of the year, I think you're probably more than likely going to wait. And then you will make that decision probably as we do move into the new year. Although, is that the best way to proceed? It's up to you. Okay, Darcy. Whatever I need to know, please update on twin energy, recent contact by phone. So much more to the story. 25 years history and still not together. It is a big transition. Mine's been 25 years. You know, although he always goes, no, it hasn't been. I mean, we do live in between that. That's the thing. You're most welcome, Stella. I hope it helped. You know, we do live in between those times, so it's not that, you know, when we have say we haven't reached a union with that individual, you know, what are the bugbears? There are a lot of keys, and that's some of the videos I actually want to make, because a lot of times we don't actually know that there can be things on our side of the fence that directly can be blocking it, because we're always in the kind of 3D and then in the 5D. So we're like, no, you know, we're looking at it more from a humanistic, not just the mirror and the spiritual part of things. Does this individual have children? Why do I feel I can see a bunch of people around them? Look after yourself, Stella. Okay. You might have been surprised. There also could be more information. No, but his wife does. Okay. Yeah, so it's funny because I don't get that they were feeling like they were hiding. They're quite open with you. What have we got? Did they appear to be flighty in any shape or form? Because, look, this is the card. He has the grandson and great-grandchildren. Yeah, because I saw a wicked amount of children around. Okay, number one is the person you might have felt this person was slightly off. Again, go into your intuition, gauge, was it a text message? Was it a phone call? You know, how their energy was with it. I do feel you're surprised. Did they keep the tone of it to do with how life was? It's a little bit like keeping the tone very neutral. I'm hearing, okay, they're also showing me the desire to ask a very personal question. It's almost like the conversation might have been very neutral, just about, you know, life in general, some things that have happened, but they're also making reference to a point that there was a very almost they wanted to ask a very personal question to you, or they did, okay, but it feels almost like a black and white conversation, you know, on a very basic level, and then wanting to ask a very in-depth question. It could have been even asking something of you. There's no complaints on the factor of communication. There is a connection between the both of you here. But sometimes it makes you feel like, gee, this is taking me backwards again. They also have had a difficult time with various things. There could have also been an individual that transcended over in their life. It's like they've had a lot happen. But I think, when we do, in layman's terms, look at 25 years, a lot between both of you has changed over the last 25 years. It's a little bit like a high school reunion, and you're like, oh, heck, wow, lots has happened. This person is feeling the need to steer the ship in a different direction. They do have a lot on their plate, and sometimes that makes you wonder if this is even really possible. You could feel sometimes that their life feels like a sinking ship. Like there's a lot to be grateful for. It's nothing, it's not that they can't be or shouldn't be grateful, but it does feel as though at many times they have to be responsible for a lot of things. And sometimes you look at it like, wow, that's really unmanageable. How is this going to be possible? I feel this person actually doesn't look at it as a, what would I say? It's coming up as their viewpoint of it is the Ten of Swords. And it's something that they can't just put everyone else before them at all times. They do think about wanting a connection with you and what they would look like. Why are they making reference to a boat? Is there history between you and this person in a boat? Or is it an analogy, sailing off into the sunset? What do you have history around boats? Like why are they referencing a boat here? What is it, a love boat? I just make reference to it. Could be like a is it across oceans? Is it a reference? Sometimes when guides work, it can be more an analogy of you're there, I'm here. Other times it can be a memory that you have with that person, history you've had with that person, a promise. No. Okay, love it. No, but a tiny homes. Near the ocean, like what is the ocean reference here? Because they're referencing water and ocean. Like, is there an image of whenever they keep coming back to it, it's something significant. I just noticed there's a card here with the boat. It's travel. It's to do with emotions and letting things be fluid. But, it can be that what they're showing me in their mind's eye is they are picturing physically being on a cruise with you or wanting to go somewhere, wanting to travel the world, wanting to be free, moving into calmer waters. But it doesn't feel negative. So it could simply be an image they're giving me. 6 years ago, we were so close, I thought I was the one. I don't think it's that we're not the one. I think for those that are twin flames and, when you meet, there is this knowing that this person has a contract with you. And it's not necessarily we deem it as a contract. It's a connection, a very significant, very, very deep connection. Not just on an intimate level, because it really didn't start in that basis. It's a sort of like a knowing, a serendipity energy. That is not incorrect, okay? When you do move through an element of your awakening, people can go into connection and separation, and it's to clear our chakras. It's to clear the belief systems, and a lot of times we're very chalk and cheese to each other, and we're very, very similar in the same time. Once it does get to a particular level, union will occur, but it will be a choice. So we may have a belief system, especially depending on our zodiac sign and our belief system from our childhood. You will attract, there will be something in your twin that will be similar to a parent figure in your life. The mother or father, they don't have to be DNA, whomever raised you. And it's almost like pre-training to that connection. You also can find that your strong belief of what is blocking it right now is a belief system and a burden you carry. And once you clear that, it can actually clear the road for it. What zodiac sign are you? And do you know their zodiac sign? Like, it's not to say that these things aren't going to flow. This year, especially from an ascension point of view, we do have, I would say, because the North Node's in Aries, it is awakening the Mars energy in a divine masculine. Saturn will move into Aries. Sag, okay, Sag, who's Cancer? Which is very common because I can say with the moon energies, we had the Capricorn moons back to back. Cancer and Capricorns are going through big shifts. The problem is we're wrapping up things of the past. It is Mercury retrograde. Pluto ingresses back into Capricorn. So again, the Cancer Capricorn zodiac signs can have significant changes in their life so that these individuals can come back. The problem is it's a little bit like wrapping up the old Christmas present for the new year. This year is a wrap up. So don't get disheartened if you find, hey, this person came forward and then they've gone backwards, especially if the energy is really intense. Because we did have both moons in Capricorn, and Pluto is going to ingress back during its retrograde in that house at 29 degrees. If they hadn't let go of a connection that they felt spiritually was just karmic, the 29-degree point is like the kick up the butt for that to happen. Okay. And it could be, I needed to forgive myself. How have I failed? Why is that not? Why do I need to let go of that? And Jupiter is transiting over Cancer's 12th house. So again, a lot of psychology going on there, a lot of mind clutter, a lot of overwhelm. It's very important for those individuals to be able to have spiritual space and to also feel as though the people that they're surrounding themselves with understand, if that makes sense. So old habits can come up as well. Now, on the Sagittarius axis, your shadow sign is Taurus, and Uranus and Taurus is about to go retrograde. So do expect unexpected situations to happen between now and, I would say, next month. And it can be radically in your love life very quickly. Very, very quickly. Jupiter's also activating you because it is sitting in the house of Gemini. So it's making you look at things from a different perspective, which can be a little bit challenging. You also are looking at things from a more independent point of view. Even though that person is married, again, divorces can come through with the 29-degree. And that's if they're unhappy. That's if that's destined. However, more than likely, something in that connection is going to have to change. And 9 times out of 10, you won't. It's interesting that we had those full moons and you got contact. So to me, that would signify that person is unhappy with the current contract. Okay? So I'll leave it at that. But if you want coaching, you can come through to the members or to the website. Otherwise, I will love you and leave you all. And thank you for joining our interrupted YouTube experience. And if you do want to see the super chats, jump through and see the different dates. Otherwise, you can, like I said, join our members or come through and join any of the lives. See you soon.